Hey y'all, this is Dallas Pryor from the Lazy Wayne Band, and you're listening to the Texas Toast Podcast.
Best, so let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Toast Podcast with Miss Helen. And I'm welcoming a special guest today. I can say about damn time, Dallas Pryor with the Lazy Wayne Band. Hello, Dallas. Great to have you on the podcast.
Hi, Miss Helen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, how's things going for you these days?
They're going really good. We just dropped the new EP, About Damn Time Volume 3, and it is.
Mhm.
And we had a really good time. And other than my truck blowing up on the way to the release party, it's been a pretty good weekend.
Your truck blew up, poor thing.
Well,
Is it-
it's really old. It's on its way out. It's got 345,000 miles on it. And
Oh, wow.
I've had it since 60,000. So
Okay. So she's been a good truck. Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's served its purpose quite a bit.
It sounds like it. We're gonna get to the volume 3 EP about damn time. But first of all, let's let everyone get to know you a little bit and talk about the history of the band. So you have always sung as ever since you were a little one. You had the pipes and had the voice. So tell me how all your music career came about because your voice is just fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, yeah, I was singing in the car seat whenever I was a kid, and my mom tells me these stories about when I was whenever I'd sing a song, if I missed a note or messed up in any type of way, I would just start the song all the way over from note one, and I don't know if it drove her nuts or if she was appreciating that, but I always make a joke. My favorite song when I was a kid coming up was "I Like It, I Love It." And
Oh,
I every time I sing it now, my parents got divorced at age like 3 or 4, and I always say that was the reason. Never stopped singing it.
never stop. And so then you took that into your young adult life as well.
Yeah, yeah. I ended up going up through high school into choir,
Mhm.
and choir really helped me a lot. If there's any vocalists, especially younger folk listening to this, and getting choir, the breathing technique, all the vocal training that I got just in choir was completely like out of this world and valuable. I loved it.
Yes. And so then you found your love to play the guitar and thank you for your service because you were a Marine and you were in the
Thank you.
barracks and that's when you picked up the guitar and then the gigs started coming along.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to play guitar until I was like 21. And there's still to this day now I'm 31 and I've been playing for 10 years. And there's still kids that are like less than 10 years old that I see on TikTok that can play way better than me. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? It's serviceable. I can play my own shows and everything. I'm getting better. I'm so good at a G chord, Miss Helen. I'm really good at playing chords.
Oh, well, I think you do just fine. So during that time you played at different places while you were in the Marines?
There was really mainly one place, and it was called Mayo's Halfway House. It was a little bar out in the middle of the woods where uh, I found it just to kind of get away from base life and get away from the military for a little while. I made a ton of civilian friends up where Kyle just got back from New Jersey,
Mhm.
and it was a really cool getaway for me. And at one point, the owner just told me he became one of my good friends. A lot of the bartenders and people that were regulars and staff and whatnot became damn near family to me. And the owner told me that I'm not going to let you come back here if you don't start playing here for money. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So he ended
nice.
up buying a PA system, and I brought my guitar and paid me $80 a day or $80 a night and free drinks while I played, and that was how it started.
Wow, good people, good memories it sounds
Yeah.
like. So let's talk about the band. When did the band come about and the name Lazy Wayne Band?
Well, I started when I got back in 20. I got back to Kansas in 2015. I'm from Abilene, Kansas.
Mhm.
The I got back home and I met Mr. Keegan Knox, the dude I started the band with, and it was an acoustic duo for a while. I met him at the bar, one of the first bars I ever started playing at around here, and I was like, "Well, let's see what you got on that guitar, man." And he's a farrier. I was I was going to Kansas State at the time, so I had spring break off, and he was kind of making his own schedule and whatnot. So we just played everywhere. We ended up doing what we called the No Bars Would Book Us tour of 2016 because we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and I didn't know what a press kit was, and yeah, it was a whole big deal. But we ended up it was turning it into a busking tour is what it was,
Hmm.
and we went around the entire East Coast, all the way from Abilene to Oklahoma City to Baton Rouge to Pensacola to Savannah to all the way through the Carolinas and up to Jersey and through Nashville again. And that's where we kind of figured out that maybe we should name this thing something instead of just our names, because our somebody's name would get left off the marquee every single time. It was it was like
Right.
clockwork in that way. So we
So
ended
that,
up kind of going through all the typical band names, like throwing them out there. The Muddy River Band, the Smoky Hill, look googling them up. Oh, it's taken. Oh, this one's taken by 3 bands. And we finally decided to go a little bit more personal route, and where he went to school for horseshoeing at was the Oklahoma State Farrier School and college. And he went when he went there, his nickname was Lazy K, Keegan Knox,
Mhm.
kind of a play on a brand. And we decided to take my middle name and turn the band into Lazy Wayne.
There it is, and it's held true all these years now.
Yeah, and well, he quit the band back in 2017, but he said it's a badass name, keep it. So
Oh, wow. Just based on the stories that we've just talked about, just coming into the podcast, you've had some really good people come across your path in the music business.
yeah, I really have. And actually, I just got done with an interview with Miss Corliss, who told me to tell you guys hi.
Oh, I love her.
And so yeah, I've had good people be able to lead me from, because it's a lot more desolate up here in Kansas than it is in Texas, and there's not as many people with the experience that we have down in Texas and
Mhm.
whatnot. So it was kind of a free for all. I had to learn for yourself. You didn't really have a hand to hold or too many people that really knew what they were doing up here in the first place. So I was lucky to have the very few folks like Corliss that was kind of my compadre. We kind of came up in the music scene as far as her in radio and me on stage
Mhm.
and whatnot, coming from Kansas down to Texas. But I'm
Yeah.
very fortunate with the folks I have made friends with, and they have introduced me to you and the T3R Awards and the
Yes.
CMAs this last
Yes.
year. It's been an
All the all
absolute
the all the fun stuff we've had, and you really have come on the scene, and you really have fit in good, not only with your music, but you as a person as well.
well, thank you.
So let's talk about your band and your band members.
So the newest band member of ours is Mr. Tyler Jimenez. He is from Wellington, Kansas, and currently resides in Wichita, Kansas. And he is a pro drummer, man. He actually just moved back up here from Texas. He's been touring around with Texas country acts for close to a decade now. He's been in the scene for a while now. He knows exactly what it's all about.
Mhm.
And man, is he good. And then we have the second most senior member is Mr. Logan Sanders. He's from where I'm sitting right now in Topeka, Kansas, and he's the young gun. He's the 22-year-old lead guitarist. Which one day you'll get to meet both those two, and you'll like him. But the dude that's been with me for a long, long time now, Sam Williams. He's been with me since like 2017. And I think you got to meet Sam at the pre-party and the award show this year, and him and Victoria, his girlfriend, came around, and finally I got one of my band members to come to the award show with me. But it was
That's
a really good
nice.
time getting to show them around. And man, is he such a good bassist. I've gotten compliments from we just opened up for Dylan Wheeler,
Mhm.
and their drummer was like, "Dude, your guys' bassist rocks, man." I'm like, "Thank you. That's too bad he's not here to share that compliment."
So yeah, so you got the band all together. You have some great music out there. So let's talk about your About Damn Time collection. You started out with the first one, which was in 2019, and then Volume 2 in 2021. And I kind of want to go back, and I've just picked some songs off the other ones. I really enjoyed off of number 1, DK County Dream. You want to talk about that song a little bit?
First song I ever wrote. Uh, that's what I say every time I play it for people that don't know. First song I ever wrote, and it's all about falling in love in your hometown. It was about a girl I had a crush on, and it never worked out. But you know what? It was a cute story, and ended up being a good song.
Absolutely wonderful song. And then I really liked Traded In on volume
Oh,
2. I really liked that one. I mean, all of them are good, but it's like I just kept going back to that one.
so Traded In is actually written and performed on the album I Don't Sing That Song by our old lead guitarist Mark Ryan Hauser. So if you
Is
look on
it
the song
called
credits,
different?
you'll see Mark
Yes.
Ryan
Mhm.
Hauser under there. And he got super busy with his company in Kansas City that he plays for, and they're like a really, I mean, they're flying them out to LA and doing all sorts of crazy stuff all the time. So he got really busy with them. Logan came on the scene for us and really took over. And we still perform Traded In, and maybe one day we'll maybe we'll reproduce it and with me singing or something like that. I'd like to get that done.
I really enjoyed that. So you've been busy with About Damn Time Volume 3, which you just a home run, grand slam, knocked it out of the park. And we did talk about Didn't Matter Anyway, About Damn Time. So tell me about putting these songs together on this particular EP.
I kind of put all the volumes, volume one, I didn't even know was going to be volume one. The entire reason that I named all of these About Damn Time is because, I mean, I just talked about this too. We don't know what we're doing sometimes. I had to start from ground zero, not knowing what I was doing. The first 3 song EP took me like 2 years to put out
Oh,
because didn't have a clue and didn't have a clue about the recording process, about the producing process, about the mixing process, and I didn't have a clue about the distribution process either.
mhm.
And finally, I got with the guys over at Smith Music Group, and they really did a great job helping me out. Now I have people I can talk to instead of just the internet,
Right,
which helps
right.
tech dum dums like me survive in 2023. But
I had a conversation with my guy the other day because he was talking, well, it was yesterday, and he was like, I just don't pick up on this computer stuff good. And I'm like, people call you and ask you questions. So never doubt. Maybe your skills may be better than you think because there's others that are far worse.
I might underrate myself a little bit, but not too much. Then
Uh,
About Damn Time Volume 2 came out, and it took a year and a half, almost 2 years to get this one out. And I said, you know what? This one is going to be about damn time too, because it's taken way too freaking long.
Oh,
And then after volume 2 came out, I said, you know what? I probably have to write a song called About Damn Time and then put a third volume out.
that was smart.
So that's kind of the brain process of where all that came from and everything.
Well, tell me about the ride.
The ride,
Oh, it was
I was
beautiful.
trying to be weird and different, and back I wrote all these songs back in like 2017 or 18, and I was less music. Not that I'm very musically inclined now, but I was less musically inclined than I am now. And I said, I'm just gonna try and do a weird chord progression, a weird uh, a weird strum pattern, and I just ended up doing a really cool shuffle. And I really liked this song, and I didn't really know where I was going with it lyric wise, story wise either. And
Mhm.
uh, I kind of wrote about me learning a lesson when I was in the military, and I've seen so many other people learn this lesson too. Being in Kansas, there's a lot of people that don't want to be here, and there's a lot of people that don't want to be here that are from other places, and other people that don't want to be here that have never been anywhere else. And that was me in New Jersey. I did not want to be in New Jersey. I just wanted to go back home to the heartland and be able to go to a pasture party and find a dirt road, which you couldn't find out there.
Oh
And
man. Oh my gosh. You just stole my heart. I look for dirt roads.
yeah, so
I love it.
the reason I guess the story of the ride was kind of don't take advantage of where you're at. Don't take for granted of where you're at or where you've been. And it might not be the situation you want right now, but guess what? You might not ever be where you're at in your life again. So do what you can while you can do it. And for me specifically, it was you're in New Jersey, dude. You're a single man in New Jersey. You'll never be this close to Philadelphia. You'll never be this close to Atlantic City or what they call the shore. You'll never be this close to New York. You're not going back to the East Coast unless it's for playing music on a tour or something like that. But you're not going to live out here again. Go enjoy it.
Mhm.
You'll find things to do, and I did. and I found it in that little bar in the middle of the woods, Mayo's, that I got started at, and I found it in a lot of the local friends that I found out there. And man, by the time I left, I was so sad. I was like, I hope I made an impact on you guys. I'm gonna miss you so much. And I still go back there for tour or for reunion shows and whatnot.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. So that was you were saying that you wrote this back. How long? Let's talk about your songwriting. How long you've been songwriting and what inspired you to start songwriting?
I didn't, like I said, DK County was my first attempt ever at songwriting, and I didn't even know like this could be a career path. I didn't know anything. I was the most green person on planet Earth when it came to music. When I really first started doing it, I didn't know a thing about writing. And I don't know if I completely said it, but these About Damn Time, Volume 1 was the first, second, and third song I wrote. Volume 2 was fourth, fifth, and sixth, and so on and so forth with Volume 3. And so these are kind of like this About Damn Time collection is my very first attempt at songwriting. And
Wow.
it's good. I wish I could do what a lot of songwriters do is and put volume, like a volume of songs out. I'm not very good at just writing to write. It takes a lot of self motivation for me to sit down with a pen, pencil, and paper and actually get stuff on paper and come up with melodies and progressions and stuff like that. It doesn't come as naturally to me. It's more about when my heart says you have to write something is when I write it.
Well, and the one of the things that I wrote down and made notes all along since I've been listening to your music is that you have such a unique writing style. And that leads me to Honky Tonk Hell, which is a well written song. And I really enjoyed that one.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The Honky Tonk Hell was uh I don't know, about breaking your own heart, choosing choosing the style of being in the bar and going out and singing and drinking with friends over somebody that you loved and maybe you regretted it, and that's what I wrote it about. And there's plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, good, good. Well, let's talk about Didn't Matter Anyway and About Damn Time, talking about the plans for those, because I believe one went to radio, one went to streaming, because I know we covered those on Texas on Tap.
Yeah, and it's funny that Didn't Matter Anyways, almost the inverse of Honky Tonk Hell. It's uh, didn't work out and it's all right. We'll get over it.
Mhm.
It was a fun time it was a fun time while it lasted. And then About Damn Time was it was almost my call out to the band going, it was kind of when maybe it was a call out to me, to be honest. Let's do this thing for real. Let's turn this into a career. Let's not treat this like the weekend warrior type thing anymore. Let's take this thing on the road and do it legitimately and do it and really pursue it hard and wear ourselves out where we can and all that good stuff. But didn't matter anyway, somehow. Don't even know how, because now that I've learned the rules of radio a little bit more, it's too long. It's way too long for radio. And folks, I know you're not in radio anymore, but folks like you and our mutual friends in radio,
Mhm.
they're in it right now. Just put it on the air. I didn't ask them to. I didn't promote it at all. They just started playing it when it came out, and it's 5 minutes and 30 something seconds long.
And that is a long one for radio. But
Yeah, and
hey, it's you, Dallas. It's okay.
it ended up breaking the top 100 in uh, the Texas country music charts,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's for not even trying. You know what? I will take that every single day.
Yes, yes, and see, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're just such a good fit for our music, and then as a person, getting to meet you when we've been at the awards. So, what are your upcoming goals for your music, and as far as maybe a Texas tour or getting out and playing closer into Texas?
I am having the hardest time trying to book anywhere other than places where I'm already known at, which
Mhm.
is great that we're known as many places as we are because I've made a living out of this now. I used to be an electrician, quit
Oh,
my job.
wow. Ooh, electricity is scary.
Yeah, so I quit my job. Music's scary too.
Yeah, true, true. That's so true.
Quit my job and then I really went after it full time, and I've been able to support myself and support my band to a point. They still all have jobs, but they make good money. and we make good money doing it. I would like to start. I guess you say goals. I think one of my major goals is something we've just dipped our toe into, and that you and Kyle know a lot about it probably already. Is what Sam Cox was talking to me about this the other day from Raglan. He said it's the ticket bridge. You're crossing the ticket bridge right now. You're doing crossing that 80-20 bridge, and that's what we're doing right now. And up here, and I want to start doing that further south, down by y'all, and see if I can't get venues to respond to an email or something like that. But we want to get the Lazy Wayne band name out there. We want to start touring everywhere, especially in Texas, very badly.
Hmm. Well, you do a lot of shows. About how many shows a month or a year do you do? Or do you count? Or
Last
you
year,
just show up?
oh God, last year we did 132.
Hmm.
If I remember that, I don't even know if that's correct, but if I remember that right, we did around 130 something. And this year, I'm not sure if we're on track for that. We're probably on track for like 115, 120 something, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So, who are some of your musical inspirations?
My favorite artist of all time is Randy Rogers. I love him. And through Topeka was definitely heavily inspired by him. I didn't know that until I was done with it, but
Hmm.
um, I'd say a lot of other people really influenced my writing, though, as far as lyrically. I think Stony LaRue and Brandon Jenkins were somebody that I really got after their style of kind of the vague creativity in their lyrical writing. I
Hmm.
love it.
Hmm.
I love the mystique so much. I love not as directly saying what you're trying to say. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like when you're talking about something, you don't exactly say exactly what that means, or say exactly like this girl broke my heart. You find a more creative way and maybe a more
Yes.
serious way to say it.
And I guess you kind of took the words out of my mouth what I was trying to talk about earlier with your songwriting skills. So when you're not doing music, what do you like to do?
All right. I like to go. We missed you at Steamboat this year. I love to go skiing. I
Oh,
love
cool.
to. It's funny because I've always been a beach guy. I
Hmm.
love the beach. I went to in the Marine Corps. I went to school in Pensacola, Florida, and I fell in love with the Gulf of Mexico out there. And I never thought I'd be a mountain guy. I always hated the cold. I've always loved
Me
the
too.
heat. We got stationed in Yuma, Arizona for annual training, and we got out of a C-130 in 117-degree dry heat, just smacked us in the face, and I loved it. It was great. I love that. And then my mom grew up skiing, and since she was a kid, it's kind of turned into a rich man sport. It's really expensive to go skiing nowadays, and I thought I was going to hate it. But I'm like, you know what, mom? I will give it a chance for you because I know you loved it and I know you want me to love it. So I'll try. And boy, did I fall for it. I started buying ski gear. I started going to the mountains 6, 7 times a year.
Wow.
And it's been one of my favorite new hobbies. Other than that, I know we don't have the big fishing boats that you guys do. I'd like to go out with you and Captain Ron sometime if I'm ever.
You should. You should.
But we do have our lakes. We are landlocked, but we do have our muddy lakes. We love to go out on Lake Milford and Lake Perry, and I've got really good friends down on Lake of the Ozarks that I go to all the time. Get to hang out with Chuck Rosino every now and then when I'm down there. And yeah, I love the water. I love being around water, whether it's the
Me
ocean,
too.
the lake, whether it's floating a river. I just love water. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yes. Water for sure. And I live all around the water, and Mother Nature's not being very nice out there. You should hear what I'm hearing out there. So, well, before we wrap it up, is there anything I haven't covered that you'd like to talk about to get out to the audience?
I don't think so. You really hit the nail on the head on this one.
Well, I was looking forward to this one, and the thing is, it's like let's get you booked in Texas. So anyone listening has got a
Yes.
venue, and I'll get the word out too. So it's just been so nice having you on the podcast. And of course, one last question: if you were a cocktail, what would you be?
I had this one prepared because I am a listener of the Texas Toast Podcast.
Okay.
I love my whiskey, but it's not always whiskey and Coke that goes for me. And especially in the summertime, I told you I love being around water. I'm a Lynchburg lemonade all the way.
Oh, yes, that's great in
And
the summer.
they can make a fancy one, but I'm just good with mixing whiskey and lemonade together. That's my drink.
Okay. Well, it has been a joy visiting with you, and glad we got through some of the little bumps in the road we had here. But thank you so much, Dallas Pryor with the Lazy Wayne Band. Thank you, Dallas.
Thank you, Miss Helen. Appreciate you.